If you are struggling to get your child to fall asleep on their own, this video is going to discuss one technique that you can actually start working on, and it's something that you practice with your child in order to increase their ability to be able to be okay if you leave them. Now, this comes in handy when we're talking about trying to fall asleep in our own bedroom, in a dark space. That can be a little anxiety inducing for some of our learners. So this is actually going to help you to ease them into that concept. Give you the ability to enter and leave the sleep space until they fall asleep. So why is it important? So we can start reducing dependency, right? If you're stuck in the bedroom, you're laying in bed with them, or you're half in a chair, or you're spending all night in the bedroom, and that's not what you want to do, then we do want to reduce the dependency on the caregiver and get that caregiver out of the room and into their own sleep space. It also gives you the benefit of teaching them the skill of falling asleep on their own. If you co-sleep with your child and you like to do that and you don't want to change that, you can still work on this. If you are co-sleeping, the child does not have to be sleeping in their own space for this to work. So let's get to it. The first thing I'm going to tell you is, if you are looking at structuring your bedtime routine and you have some things that you want to just make sure you're doing right, check out my video on bedtime routines and how to set those up. You can also check out my video on using visuals even if you have a chaotic home. So check those both out. They'll support what I'm talking about here. So first thing you want to do is we're going to set up opportunities to practice the skill of walking away from your child and they being okay with that. What are we going to do? Do you hear the dog? She's always got something to do. So first things first, we're going to set up time to practice. We always want to look at opportunities to practice a skill before it needs to be used, right? So when I say practice, you're going to set up something fun. You're going to sit down on the bed with your child to look at books perhaps, and then you're going to signal to your child that you're going to leave for a second. Now, we're not going to really leave the room because most likely, if you're watching this video, your child might be a little Velcro to you. So maybe we're not going to leave the room, but we're going to tell our child, I'll be right back. You want to make sure that they understand that. And then perhaps your first step is to just stand up. They don't get anxious. They don't start grabbing for you. And then you just sit right back down and be like, thank you so much for waiting for me. And then you get right back to whatever it is that you're doing. And then after a few seconds, you're going to signal again. I will be right back. Maybe this time you stand up and you move a little further from the bed and you return and you acknowledge that they were able to wait for you for that 1-2 seconds that you stood up and left. The reason you start off where you're barely moving is that you're just trying to build the understanding that I'm going to say this and I'm going to move from you. This way you can lean on that when you say it and leave the room for 1 to 2 minutes. That's what we're aiming for. Now, if you are finding that being able to tolerate leaving is not their thing, so you're on the phone or they're in the living room playing and you get up and leave from the couch and they kind of follow you out, then maybe you just want to start there. Being able to practice just hanging out, playing with their things while you get up and go, while you're in the kitchen, living room, and so forth. If you can do that and the only time that you're having this problem is in the sleep space, then we can set it up when it's not bedtime to do this. You would practice this by finding times within the day where you guys hang out in the bedroom and you work on just getting up and leaving. That's step 1. Step 2 is essentially to build distance. Ideally, you don't have to be able to leave your child for 5 or 10 minutes. We're really looking at small increments where you're able to walk away out of the room from your child and your child can hang out in the space without running out to find you. That is where we're going to be at. We're just looking to build distance. You're going to practice this until the duration of time is that you can leave for about 2 minutes. That will be about our sweet spot. Your final step will be extend to bedtime. So now that we've practiced this while we're under not threatening conditions, meaning now that we understood and we hear, I'll be right back, and that means mommy does come back or daddy does come back and is honest about that, then we extend to bedtime. So now we get in bed while we're groggy, while we have some sleep pressure. Again, check out my other video, how to set up for good sleep. If we're in those conditions, then we should be going to bed groggy but awake, right? Now, when you extend to bedtime, we're under the conditions of being groggy but awake, which will help to promote sleep. So when you say, I'll be right back, and you leave the room for a couple of seconds, minute, 2 minutes, and you come back, you're reinforcing quiet within the sleep space, quiet-based visiting. We're visiting based on the fact that you have been able to remain quiet and calm in the sleep space. So if we're extending to the bedroom, you want to shorten those durations, most likely for your child. So instead of leaving on the first one at 2 minutes, you might just leave for a few seconds and come back. And then show them this is the exact same thing that we do during the day. And I'm being honest, and you can trust me. When I leave, I will come back. And you would then continue this until your child falls asleep. If anything resonates with you, please check out my Thinkific platform for parent and CEU webinars. You can find me on Instagram, and you can check out all my reels. I have plenty of free resources, so check that all out. And check out this next video on how to build a good bedtime routine that will help you when you're trying to work on quiet-based visiting. Till next time.